So do you learn about other religious traditions as part of your schooling, or is that something you learn about family and friends? So how do you learn about religion? Or a number of you identified yourself saying, I'm Hindu by birth. So does that mean that you were born Hindu, that you no longer practice Hinduism? Or how do you learn about other religious traditions?
The thing about Hinduism is that in Christianity, you are baptized. But in Hinduism, there's no such thing as baptism in this
Mm,
sense. So if your parents are Hindu, and it's automatically you transfer into being a Hindu.
mm.
So that's why we
And
say
then,
Hindu by birth.
thank you. And so if there aren't, so like in Catholicism, obviously they have baptism and things like that. There are no rituals or rites within Hinduism. And then how do you know if you're a Hindu? Is it something that you practice, something you do, or just the way that you identify yourself?
The thing about Hinduism is that it's a misconception that it originated as a religion in the first place. So when we talk about Hinduism, the word Hindu came from the word Sindhu. What is the Sindhu? It's the Indus River. And the Persians, they called the Indus River as the Sindhu. And
Mm,
anyone who lived on the eastern side of the Indus River would automatically be called a Hindu.
mm.
So it did not evolve as a religion first, and then they observed the ways of life of the people who were in that side of the world, and from that, the very concept of Hinduism came up.
Interesting. Anybody else want to share a little bit about their own experiences as far as how they think about themselves as being Hindu?
Hinduism is actually a philosophy, an ideology. It's not a religion. Any person belonging to any religion can actually follow Hinduism. Hinduism consists of 4 ashramas of life, that is Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. The first Brahmacharya is actually the first 25 years of life. If we consider the life of a human being to be of 100 years, first 25 years is Brahmacharya, where a person learns things. It's the education stage of life. The second one is the Grihastha, that is the social life, where you extend your social and the family responsibilities. The third stage, the Vanaprastha, traditionally, it's when a person leaves everything behind and goes to the forests. And the fourth stage, it's the Sannyasa. It's when you become a saint and you achieve spirituality, divine spirituality in yourself. This is what Hinduism speaks about. It is the ideology which is contained in the Vedas and the Upanishads. They were never holy or religious textbooks.
Thank you for,
These were just written down by the experiences of man from generation to generation by the concept of Shruti and Smriti. Shruti means to hear and Smriti means to remember. And these were on from the time when writing was not discovered. So slowly when writing came into existence, these were written down and that's what formed Hinduism.
mm. Thank you. That's a great explanation. And so what do you think would make something a philosophy as opposed to religion? So what do you understand Christianity to be? Do you understand Christianity to be a religion? And if so, why is that a religion?
Um, uh, for a Christian devout man, all all that is required is to follow some prescribed rituals by the church.
Okay.
But the main aim of Hinduism, but what Hindus mean by dharma, which is the word for religion, is the essential nature of a man. A man cannot exist without his purpose.
Mm,
And the main aim of Hinduism is to, and Hinduism also claims that the God is within us.
mm,
So the main aim of Hinduism is to realize the God within us.
mm.
And thus the all what Hinduism says guides us to realize the God within us.
Thank you. That helps clarify the distinction. So normally when I teach this class, students have a lot of questions, and so maybe you could help them understand. So one question that a lot of my students have is Hinduism a monotheistic or a polytheistic religion? They don't understand. So if they see the images of the different gods, they say, oh, well, Hinduism must be a polytheistic religion. And then some other students say, well, no, it must be monotheistic. So can you shed a little light on that? That's a common question that my students have.
Even I had that question when I was growing up. And
Okay.
so the concept behind Hinduism is that there are no such different gods, godhead. There is only existence. And that existence in itself, that is a godhead, what you would call. And that is divided into certain incarnations or forms. So you see, the Godhead is divided into, initially it's divided into Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, who are again divided into their certain forms, reincarnated into certain are, say, Lord is a mortal incarnation. Lord Krishna is a mortal incarnation of Vishnu. So these are certain deities we worship, but the essence is that there is only one state.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, another question that my students often have is, what is a yoga? And so they think of yoga as like a form of exercise where they go to the gymnasium to do a yoga class. Could you tell me what you understand yoga to be? That's kind of a common question they have.
The word yoga means, the word yoga comes from the word yug, which means to unite. And the main purpose of yoga is to unify the mind and soul. And what do we gain by unifying the mind and soul? We have a better life, and we get a step closer to realizing God within us. That is the main purpose of yoga.
And then the question my students often ask, are there a number of different types of yoga? Is there only one yoga?
Yes,
No,
there
there are
are.
different types of yoga. They
Okay.
can
Yeah.
be broadly classified into 4 types of yoga. This yoga or union, these different types of yoga are basically descriptions of the different paths you can follow to unite yourself with the God within you. And so for a logical person, for an emotional person, for a person who prefers action, and for a person who's very devout, there are different types of yogas. So the fundamental aim of yoga is sadhana. What does sadhana mean? To have mastery over oneself.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, another common question that students have, and they're really kind of confused about, is that they want to hear more experiences or understanding of what reincarnation is. And do you believe in reincarnation?
Well, personally, I don't believe in reincarnation, but there is a concept of reincarnation in our religion. It is the main aim of a man is to attain perfection. Now, this world we live in is called the karma bhumi, which means the land of work. Our purpose in this world is to do our work until we reach perfection. And and until we reach perfection, we are stuck in a cycle of birth and death. And between these lives, there is a period where where our soul has to spend some time in a world called the bhoga bhumi, which means the land of experience. That place, the soul experiences intense happiness or intense suffering based on their past deeds.
Mm, thank you. And is that based on karma?
Yes, that's
Okay.
basically karma.
And so one of my students would probably ask you this. So if you're Hindu, how could you be a Hindu and not believe in reincarnation? Isn't that kind of like a non-negotiable that you have to believe in, or is that not the way that Hinduism works?
Well, I believe in facts, and I have no certain facts that I can confirm the the statement which Hinduism has made, that there is reincarnation. I have no facts on which I can say that there is reincarnation. I can't be sure of that fact that there is reincarnation. So I don't believe.
Gotcha. You need more evidence. Wonderful. So one question my students ask often about Hinduism also is the caste system. They want to read about the caste system. So does the caste system still in play in your culture? Is it tied up in Hinduism? Is it kind of like an essential part of it? Or what could you tell me about the caste system? Because they want to know about that.
The caste system is still very much prevalent in India, especially the northern and the northwestern sides and some parts of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and states of Jharkhand. However, the caste system, the negative discrimination on the basis of caste, was banned by the government of India in 1948. However, the condition has not improved much in those areas, and the pressure of this caste system on the Dalits and the Shudras, which are the last two castes, and they were always very much suppressed in the society. It's still on, and in recent statistical studies, it has been shown that this caste system has been acculturated even in Sikhism, Jainism, Islam, and even Christianity in India. However, the place where I live in Bengal, the caste system is not that prevalent. It's very negligible.
So you think, so what you're saying is that the caste system is a part of India, but it's not really a part of Hinduism now? It's more, it could be a part of Hinduism or Islam or Christianity if you live in India.
So this part of the debate is mainly rooted in history. And if you look at the ancient scriptures, the first written evidence of there being a caste system and a hierarchical society in which the lowest of the lowest were not allowed to, say, intermarry or even draw water from the well the other caste people used. This was essentially rooted inside a book that was called Manushriti. And this was written somewhere about 1000 BC. And so, based on this, when newer religions sprung up, when Islam came to India, when Buddhism sprung up, then this lowest caste, basically, they decided to jump ship, they decided to abandon ship and accept a religion that did not discriminate. But the thing is that these religions, Islam, Jainism, Buddhism, they were again oppressed in the same manner as they were in Hinduism.
Thank you. Now, I think Mr. Chura told me that you only have, that we should end now at 8 o'clock. Is that right? How are you doing on time?
It's 7:30.
Okay. All right. Well,
it's just half an hour.
Okay. Well, I want to be respectful of your time then. So maybe would each one of the students just say, is there anything else that you'd like my students to know about you, about Hinduism, about India, anything else that you wanted to kind of share with them that I haven't asked you about? Now, obviously you'll get a chance to talk to them again on the 11th, but is there anything else that you kind of want them to know?
India is a very large country. It's probably the seventh largest country, but has the second largest population in the world, some 4 times of the US, I believe. And so it's a very diverse country. Many religions sprung up in India, which include, say, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism. And so it's very important to know more about India, because if you don't know about India, you just don't know about 1.2 billion people.
Thank you.
Shaz, would you like to share something? Why don't you share your own experience? That's the diverse. When Shamadunil is saying it's a very diverse country. Why don't you explain your own experience, your own life, that how diverse our country is and how sweetly we coexist?
Yeah, so my thing is, I was born in a family where my mother is Hindu and my father is Muslim. So my usual mornings are with my mother ringing the bell when she like completes her puja, and the ajan near her house, because there's a mosque near our house every day. I guess very early morning. I keep forgetting the time. I'm very forgetful. So yeah, so that's the thing. And my parents have brought me up in such a way that I don't. mm, Let me just rephrase that. So that I don't like have any problem with mixing with people of other religions or anything like that. That's like, so that I don't feel uneasy anywhere. I have been to many places, like I've been to a mosque, I've been to temples, many temples actually, and I actually do remember myself going to a church in Kolkata. I was very young then. I this only one scene I remember from that day, that I and my dad were walking through the corridor, and I saw the father offering something to the what do you call it, the Christ idol there.
Mm.
I don't exactly remember what it is, so yeah, I'm not going to say anything about that. I'm not going to assume. So that's one thing. And then I'd like to say something about myself also. I love to make music and listen to music also,
Mm.
because music just makes people happy. I have realized that quite recently, because every time I listen to a song, depending on the mood of the song, absolutely. If the song's a happy song, it just makes me, what can I say, just makes me want to dance, like literally. I just want to get on the floor,
Mm.
even if I'm laying on the bed. Yeah. So that's why I want to make music, because I know that music can unite people. And that's also my purpose of life, to see everyone united. No, like, because we all know that there are differences. People still treat, like, there's a thing called racism still in this century. So I believe that music, cinema, entertainment, everything can help to remove racism from the world and bring peace finally, like for the future of our human race.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shamadunil, would you like to? Shamadunil, I would like you to mention how Christmas is celebrated. We call it Bodo Din. Bodo means big,
Yeah.
and Din is the day. Geographically, it is the longest day. Though it's essentially, as we are talking about India, it is essentially a Christian festival. But believe me, the part of the country where we are living in, it is celebrated more by the non-Christians.
Yes, so if you see the demography of India, Christianity is like 0.5 to 4%, 5%, depending upon the state and the place. But still, due to intermingling of different cultures, different religions, Christmas is a national holiday in our country. Good Friday is a national holiday. We celebrate Christmas and Easter with the same festive spirit as many Christians in many parts of the country, and it's just
Just a
amazing. Same
festival.
with same with our festivals such as say Durga Puja, Diwali, or even Eid for Muslims. We just celebrate it. We get in the festive mood, dress up, go out, and just have a gala time.
Interesting. I did
Yeah.
not know
And
that.
Mr. Garavaglia,
Yes.
we would invite you along with your students to come to India during one such festival, then you will really see what kind of celebration we have. Irrespective of the religion, the caste, everyone is together and everyone is dressed up for the occasion, and the streets are all lit up, and it is an amazing experience. So I extend this invitation to you on our behalf. Please do visit India with your students and you see it for yourself. What, how all these religions are coexisting in such a wonderful manner.
Mm. Thank you for the invitation. I'd love to do that.
And one more, if you want to know India in this totality, we must mention cricket. It's another religion.
I know. I was
Cricket.
gonna. I had that on the question, but I forgot to. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to ignore that religion. So who wants to talk about cricket?
Yes.
That's the religion. Cricket is religion in India.
It's a celebration for us, cricket match.
And not only those 11 players, those who are on the field, each one of us, they're experts, one cricket expert, where they're watching the match or they're talking about the shots, where the players are actually playing there. So it's amazing that cricket is another religion that which unites the whole country. In our cricket team, we have players from different regions and different religions. It doesn't really matter that you're a Muslim or a Christian or a Hindu or you're from Northern India or Eastern India. You just have to prove yourself to be a good cricketer. And that's a religion in itself.
And then you're
In our
accepted
country,
into the
actually.
religion of cricket.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you go around the streets of Kolkata, you'll find that in front of some clubs or under the shade of the banyan tree, there won't be anything else, but there'll just be a small television, and you'll see a crowd of 50 people crowding around it. Why? Because there's a T20 or a one-day international going on, and so everyone has to watch that. That's like an experience in itself.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
an
and
artificial
on
holiday for
those days,
everybody.
yes, on those days, roads are comparatively empty because everyone is busy watching the cricket match. It's also a moment of coming together. Friends, they go, they visit a place, and they are all together watching the match. So it's a kind of celebration for all of us.
Interesting. Now, of course, this Sunday will be the Super Bowl. So a lot of Americans will be watching the football game on Sunday.
Okay.
Anybody else? We'd love to hear from some other people who want to share their experience. Anything else?
Yes,
Final word?
Kirit, why don't you talk about Jeep Sheba? Why don't you enlighten? Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Now, with my 15 years of experience, I would like to say that actually I am a little oscillating position, mainly when I talk about the existence of God. Now, I do not know where He is present or how He is present, but actually, and also I'm not aware, or there is no any scientific proof behind the existence of God. But in the morning, still I pray every day. Every day I pray, and still I get some inner strength. But one thing I noticed in my life that whenever I help somebody, maybe giving a biscuit to a puppy or sharing any book with the needy boy, I get some inner strength and I get some determination and I believe and I get some pleasure, and maybe that is heavenly pleasure, and I believe that maybe God is smiling at me or God is blessing me. And Swami Vivekananda once said that জীবে প্রেম করে সেই জন সেবিছে ঈশ্বর. And in English that means that one who loves the living is serving God. So actually I'm a little distracted with 2 points about God, that once I feel that maybe there is someone at the top who is regulating everything and is putting everything in this world into the balance in an orderly manner. And again I feel that maybe God is present in all of us, not only human beings, but every living creatures in this living world.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, sir. And also, sir, I would like to share my views on Christmas.
Please.
Because Shashwati ma'am told you about Borodin. Now, actually, we have winter solstice in the northern hemisphere on 22nd December. So we the Bengalis, actually the whole India, we rather like calling Christmas as Borodin, the longest day. So we like calling Christmas as that. And in Kolkata, every grocery store is full with Christmas fruitcakes. And it's a century-old tradition in Kolkata to have fruitcakes on Christmas. So that's very interesting, and that is an example of the coexistence of cultures.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't you think that we would all, people like to know that India is the place, workplace of Mother Teresa, Rabindranath Tagore, the Nobel laureate? Don't you think so? These are important people that who really put India on a bigger platform. Mother Teresa worked for us, and she worked very much in Kolkata. She was one of us. In fact, we have Mother's house where we visit regularly. So it doesn't really matter whether you're Christians or it's just Mother Teresa. Mother is mother to everybody.
So how close? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
How close is the school to where Mother Teresa's house?
Not very far. Our school
not very far.
Not very far. I think it should be 6 to 7 kilometers. I'm not too sure, but it's not very far. From our school, it's not very far.
Approximately, it would take 20 to 30 minutes drive.
Okay. No, very close.
Yeah, very close.
No, not very far either. It's okay. The distance can be traversed and traveled.
Actually, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, it's inside the city or the inside the, it's
city traffic.
So
that's pretty okay for us.
Yeah, actually, it's not that far actually.
It's not a distance for us.
And so this is actually very interesting where you, Kirit, mentioned about the fruit cakes and Christmas puddings and everything. And so in Calcutta especially, you see that after the Soviet invasion of Armenia and Georgia and those regions, a lot of Armenians, they came to Calcutta, Jews, Armenians, and they have these little hubs, you can say, hubs where there's an even greater festive mood, where you see people from these communities, and they've some of them have gone back after Armenia achieved independence and so on, but they're still there. In fact, they have a lasting influence on Calcutta's architecture, on Calcutta's entire experience. So you can see Armenian churches. There's the Jewish synagogue, multiple synagogues, incidentally. There are also schools and colleges. In fact, Armenian College in Calcutta is very famous for higher studies.
And also the way in which the Christian missionaries have had an impact on our education. Shomatoni, you can tell sir about the number of schools, Catholic schools that we have.
Because after the government, Catholics are the single largest education provider in India as a whole. After the government, there are some 55,000 Catholic educational institutions ranging from the entire spectrum of schools, colleges, even research centers and research labs. They're even established by the Catholics.
And are there more Jesuit schools in India?
Jesuit schools number somewhere around the 150 mark.
Okay. All right.
So that's not a small number either.
No, not at all. And how many Jesuits are there at your school? Are there any Jesuits working there or on staff?
The administration
Our administrators, yes,
all Jesuits.
All Jesuits.
The students and the teachers may not be all Jesuits, but administration is absolutely run by the Jesuits.
Yeah, okay.
Our principal,
our principal father, he also takes classes in the 11th and the 12th standard.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
Father takes up sociology and also political science. So he's a teacher as well.
Wow, okay. He's busy. Well, what else? Anything else that you'd like to share? I love hearing about your experiences. Thank you. Anything else on your heart or your mind you want to share?
Okay, one
So
very
I would
interesting
like
thing,
to
as we are
Very
talking about
short.
the Armenians, here in Kolkata where we're living, we have a place called Chinatown. Who would like to share this experience of Chinatown? Because the weekends, if you go to Chinatown, it's kind of Indian Chinese food. I mean, they're basically all Chinese people who once migrated to India, and for some reason they settled in this part of country, and they run newspaper. They have their schools. They were initially engaged in tannery, but now it's Chinese food is one of the most sought after delicacies in Kolkata and all over India. Whoever comes to Kolkata, they say, okay, must go to Chinatown and try out those Chinese dishes. So who would like to talk about that?
And
Chinatown?
my students love food. So if you want to tell me about some of
Oh
your favorite
yeah.
meals.
Chinatown is a
Even
very
our
unique
students
concept.
too.
Chinatown is a very
And
unique concept. It is Kolkata. That whole Chinese community, they are settled in one part of, not that they're not staying anywhere else, but there you have all the eateries and they're extremely popular. Extremely means extremely popular. And they run those eateries. They have schools there. They have their newspaper, daily newspaper, and they have other businesses as well. So that's a very unique feature of Kolkata, especially where we are
Mm.
living in. That's called, and that
and
entire
there is
place,
yeah, Shashwati, you continue, then I'll say.
that
Mm.
entire place, it's called Chinatown.
Mm.
They have the name, other
There is
addresses, but
yeah,
unofficially,
like
the
the
whole
Bo
place is called
Barracks.
Chinatown.
We also have another place which is called the Bo Barracks, where you have
Yeah,
the Anglo-Indian community. Okay, Anglo-Indian means these people, they married, at one point of time, they had married some English men or women. So the term Anglo-Indian, Anglo for the English and Indian for us. And there, if you go in the morning, you'll get to eat whatever you want to, like momos and different variety of Chinese food also they prepare. So just on the 24th of December, Christmas Eve, in Bo Barak, like it's like a different world altogether. So if you visit there with your friends and your family, you would love it. It's a different kind of an experience, and the price is also very reasonable, so it doesn't pinch the pocket as well. So so we at times we go there, and 24th you have to see how Bo Barak is decked up, absolutely like a bride, like beautifully decorated. Rather, not only that place, if you visit Park Street,
Mm.
Park Street also has a very rich cultural influence because the colonial architecture is there.
Mm.
And if you come to Park Street, you get to see that not an inch is moving, and you get to see millions of heads there. Everybody would go to see the lighting of Park Street, irrespective of the caste creed. So you should be here. You should visit India on on Christmas, and believe me, it is a very pleasant weather. There is no snowfall, and so you would really enjoy that.
No cold.
No,
it's
no, it is
just
cold for
pleasant.
us, but it is very
For us.
pleasant for you.
Yeah. Well, one idea that's come into my mind, and I wanted to see if people would be open to this, I am I'm really enjoying our conversation. So thank you. And I'm learning so much. So one thought I had is, after our next meeting on the 11th, do you think, would you all be interested in having my students communicate with you afterwards, like by email or to talk to each other? Do you think that would be something you'd all be interested in?
I'd love to
Sure.
actually.
Sure, sure.
Love to.
Okay.
Yeah,
love to.
wonderful.
So one thought I
Yeah.
Write
had
pen
is,
pals.
yeah, like if my students had more questions or wanted to ask you about something, or if you wanted to ask them, I thought maybe that I could extend that
Yeah, that would be
invitation.
great.
Okay, great. And is there anything else that you could think of that you wanted, other ideas to kind of interact with each other? One thought I had is, if you could think of some questions that you'd like to ask my students, you could, when we come back together on the 11th, you could have questions for them, anything that you're curious about.
Sure. I think that's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
So that
Okay,
we get to know about them.
Yeah,
exactly,
then, right.
exactly. Okay, great. I can't think of anything else that I had that I wanted to share at the moment, but I really want to thank you. I really enjoyed this. This has been excellent. I'm really excited about the partnership that we're having, and for my students to get to learn from you all.
Our pleasure, absolutely
So
our
are we.
pleasure.
Yeah, same. Yeah, we also enjoyed this entire conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And now you've made me want to come to visit you in India. I have to figure out how to make that happen.
Yeah, please do.
There's good food, good places to visit. What more incentive do you need?
I don't. I
Yeah.
don't.
And
I'll have to tell my school that they have to pay for us to come over for a field trip so we can come to visit with you. Yeah. Well, wonderful. Wonderful. I think Mr. Chura is going to do the same thing where he sends out a Zoom invitation. I don't know if he'll use the same link or we'll do a different one, but it'll take a little longer to get started up next time because I have 75 students. So we'll have to wait for all 75 of them to load onto there. And then either way you want to handle it. If you want to ask them questions first, or you want them to ask you questions, or if you want them to ask you questions first, what do you think would make more sense? Would you rather have them ask you questions first and then you could respond? Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that sounds better.
Okay. All right. So what I'll do is I'll have them come prepared with questions and then we could start up that way. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Or we could go the other way around, actually.
Yeah, Shamudra, carry on.
I'm sorry.
It would be interesting to have an exchange of questions. You could prepare some, we could prepare some.
Oh,
That
okay.
you want to ask your student.
Oh, and we could share those questions before we actually meet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
we could do that. Okay.
Okay. All right. That sounds great. That sounds great. And I'll have Mr. Chura send those to you all. And that would be great. And then, like I said, afterwards, maybe we could get an exchange going via email.
Sure.
Wonderful.
sure.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
You as well. You've been
Thank
a
you so
gracious
much.
host.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I look forward to our next meeting and I'm going to
11th.
let them know on the 11th.
I can't
Yeah.
wait, actually.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Well, have a wonderful evening and I'll be talking to you
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Same here.
much.
Thank you
It
so
was
much.
Thank you
nice
so
meeting
much.
you.
Nice to meet you.
Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Have a wonderful
Bye-bye.
day.
Thanks, you too.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye and good morning, I guess.
Yeah.
Good
Good morning.
morning.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
a good
Have a
day.
good
actually.
day.
Thank you and have a good evening.
Okay.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.